Stop. Right now. Do not scroll past this video. I am being completely serious with you. What you are about to hear in the next few minutes could mean the difference between thousands of dollars landing in your bank account this month, or that money sitting unclaimed, unprocessed, and quietly forgotten because nobody warned you in time. This is not one of those videos where we throw out vague numbers and make big promises that go nowhere. This is real. This is happening right now, and it is affecting millions of Americans who have absolutely no idea it is coming their way. Here's what I need you to understand before we go any further. Right now, as you are watching this, the Social Security Administration is processing payments that some people have been waiting over 40 years to receive. 40 years. Think about that. Some of your neighbors, some of your family members, maybe even you, have been quietly receiving less money every single month than what the government actually owed you. And the crazy part? Most people never even knew it was happening. They just accepted the number in their account and moved on. But this March, that changes. And the deposits that are hitting bank accounts are so large, so unexpected, and so completely out of nowhere that people are calling their banks in a panic, thinking someone made an error, thinking money was deposited by mistake. Some people are even trying to send it back because nobody told them what it actually means. And here's the part that should make every single person watching this pay close attention all the way to the end of this video. This is not just about one group of people. This is not just about retirees. This is not just about people who worked government jobs. There are multiple shifts happening with Social Security this month. Changes to payment dates, changes to the actual dollar amount landing in your account, changes to Medicare deductions that could make your check look smaller than it was in December, even after a raise was applied. And every single one of these things is going to blindside people who aren't prepared. Millions of Americans are going to open their banking app this month and see a number they don't recognize. Some will see more than they expected. Some will see less. Some will see a second mysterious deposit appear days after the first one. And without knowing exactly what is going on and why, every single one of those moments is going to feel like a financial emergency. But it doesn't have to feel that way for you. Not after this video. So stay right here. Do not move. Because by the time this is done, you are going to know exactly what is happening, exactly when it is happening, exactly who it affects, and most importantly, exactly what you need to do today, this week, before any of this hits your account. Let's get into it. Before we go any further, I need to take just a quick second to talk to you directly. Not to the thousands of people who might be watching this, just to you. The person who is sitting here right now, watching this video because something about it caught your attention. Maybe it was the title. Maybe it was the thumbnail. Maybe somebody shared it with you. But whatever brought you here, I want you to know this channel exists because of people exactly like you. You are not here by accident. You found this channel because you are the kind of person who actually pays attention to your finances. You are the kind of person who wants to understand what is happening with your Social Security money before it catches you off guard. You are the kind of person who doesn't just sit back and hope everything works out. You take action. You look things up. You stay informed. And that tells me everything I need to know about you. That tells me you are exactly who this channel was built for. Because let me be honest with you. This channel is not for everyone. It is not designed for people who don't care about their retirement income. It is not made for people who are fine with missing out on thousands of dollars because they didn't know the rules. This channel is specifically, deliberately, and intentionally created for the person who wants to protect their money, understand their benefits, and never again feel blindsided when they open their bank account and see a number they weren't expecting. That person is you. I can tell. You made it this far in the video. And here is what I want you to know about what is coming on this channel. I am not going to disappear after this video. I am not going to post once and go quiet for 3 months. I am actively working on new videos right now. Videos that go deep into the topics that actually affect your day-to-day life. I am going to be uploading everything you need to know about Social Security payment updates, benefit changes, cost of living adjustments, Medicare premium shifts, retroactive payment explanations, full retirement age strategies, SSI schedule changes, tax rules for retirees, and every single update that comes out of the Social Security Administration that could impact the money you have worked your entire life to earn. Every time something changes that matters to your income, your retirement, or your benefits, I will be here, explaining it in plain, simple, everyday English so you never feel confused or left in the dark again. So here is what I am asking you to do right now. It takes literally 2 seconds. Just hit that subscribe button right below this video. That one tap means that every single time I upload something new, every new update, every benefit change, every payment alert, every piece of news that could affect your Social Security, it goes straight to you. You will not have to come looking for it. You will not have to wonder if something important happened and you missed it. It will come directly to you, like having your own personal financial update system working for you in the background every single day. And if you really want to make sure you never miss anything, turn on the notification bell right next to that subscribe button. Ring that bell and YouTube will send you a direct alert the moment I post anything new. Because the truth is, not every subscriber sees every video. The algorithm decides what gets shown to who. But when you turn on that bell, you take control. You guarantee that you are always first in line to get the information that matters most to your financial life. Think about it this way. You found this video today. You watched it. You learned things about your Social Security that you probably did not fully know before. Maybe it changed how you think about your March payment. Maybe it made you pick up the phone and call the SSA. Maybe it saved you from a panic attack when a large, unexpected deposit shows up in your account this month. That is exactly what this channel is here to do for you, every single week, but only if you are subscribed. Only if you are here when the next video drops. And I promise you, the next video I am uploading is going to matter just as much as this one did, maybe even more. I am working on it right now, and the people who are subscribed are going to be the first ones to see it. So do not let this be the one video you watched and then walked away from. Let this be the moment you decided to stay. Hit subscribe, turn on that bell, and let me be the person who keeps you informed, keeps you protected, and makes sure that your money, your benefits, and your retirement are never a source of confusion or fear again. I will see you in the next video, and trust me, you are going to want to see it. Hey, before you keep scrolling, you need to stop and take a few minutes to watch this, because what is about to happen with Social Security payments in March 2026 is something that millions of everyday Americans have not been told about, not by the Social Security Administration, not by their local news station, not by their financial advisor, not by a neighbor or a family member. Most people are going to wake up one morning, open their mobile banking app, and see a number on the screen that doesn't match what they were expecting, and they're going to spend hours on the phone, panic-stricken, convinced something went terribly wrong with their money. The truth is, nothing went wrong. But if nobody tells you what is coming ahead of time, that confusion is completely understandable and completely avoidable. That's exactly why we are breaking this down today, so you understand every single piece of what is changing, why it's changing, who it affects, and what you need to do right now, this week, before any of this hits your account. Let's start with the biggest thing, the change that has been over 40 years in the making. If you worked in the public sector at any point in your life, if you were a school teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, a city or county employee, a nurse at a public hospital, a postal worker, a state government employee, there is a very good chance your Social Security benefits have been quietly reduced for years, and you may not have even fully understood why. For more than 4 decades, there were 2 rules buried inside federal law called the Windfall Elimination Provision, which people commonly refer to as WEP, and the Government Pension Offset, commonly called GPO. These 2 rules were responsible for slashing the Social Security checks of millions of hardworking Americans who had spent their careers in jobs where their employer ran its own retirement system instead of paying into Social Security. The federal government essentially said, "You've got a pension from your public job, so we're going to reduce your Social Security benefit." And for many people, that reduction was hundreds of dollars every single month. Now, here's what makes this even more frustrating when you really think about it. Many of these people, these teachers, these firefighters, these nurses, they also worked second jobs or part-time work in the private sector where they did pay into Social Security out of every paycheck. They earned those benefits fair and square, just like any other worker in America. But because they also had a public pension, the government reduced what they were owed. Millions of these individuals simply accepted it over the years. They just noticed their check was a little lower than they thought it should be and figured there was nothing they could do about it. For some of them, that reduction was $100 a month. For others, it was $200, $300, or even more. Over years and decades, that adds up to an enormous amount of money that was never paid to them. Well, Congress finally did something about it. Near the end of 2024, a bill called the Social Security Fairness Act was signed into law. This legislation completely eliminated both the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. Gone. Done. Both of those rules are now off the books. That means every person whose Social Security benefit was being reduced because of WEP or GPO is now entitled to receive their full, correct benefit amount going forward. The Social Security Administration has been working through millions of individual cases ever since the law was signed, recalculating benefits, running the numbers, and preparing updated payments. And during March 2026, a massive wave of those recalculated benefits is landing in bank accounts all across the country. This is real money. This is significant money. And for people who have waited years to finally receive what they were always owed, seeing that number show up in their account is going to be emotional. But it is also going to be confusing if they don't know it's coming. Here's the part where it gets really eye-opening. When the SSA corrects your benefit and raises your monthly payment going forward, that's one thing. But many of these affected people are also going to receive what's called a retroactive payment. A retroactive payment is essentially a lump sum that covers all the months going back to when the law took effect where you were receiving less than you should have been. So if you were getting $300 less per month than you were rightfully owed, and that went on for 6 years, the SSA owes you back pay for every single one of those months. 6 years is 72 months. Multiply $300 by 72, and you're looking at over $21,000 arriving in a single deposit. That is not a typo. That is not an exaggeration. Some people are receiving back payments of $10,000, $20,000, or even more, all at once, all in a single transaction, hitting their checking account with zero warning from anyone. Imagine you're a retired teacher. You spent 30 years in the classroom. You contributed to your state pension all those years, and every month you got your Social Security check and always thought it seemed a little low. You never really knew why. You figured it was just the way it was. Then one Tuesday morning you check your bank account, and there's a deposit for $21,000 sitting there that wasn't there the night before. What is your first instinct? Most people's first instinct is going to be that something went terribly wrong. They're going to think it's a banking error. They're going to think someone hacked their account or put money there by mistake. Some people are going to immediately pick up the phone and try to send the money back because they're worried about getting in trouble for keeping money that isn't theirs. But here's the truth. It is yours. It has always been yours. The government is simply catching up on what it should have been paying you all along. The only thing you need to do when that money shows up is understand where it came from and recognize it for exactly what it is. Justice. Finally delivered. If you worked in any public sector job at any point in your working life, do not just assume this doesn't apply to you. Do not just guess or figure someone would have told you by now. Plenty of people who are owed corrected benefits have never received proper notification. The SSA is processing millions of cases, and not everyone gets a phone call or a heads up. What you need to do is pick up the phone and call the Social Security Administration directly. The number is 1-800-772-1213. Call them and ask them directly whether your benefit was ever reduced because of WEP or GPO. Ask them whether your account has been flagged for recalculation and whether any retroactive payment is in process for you. Being proactive is what speeds things up. Sitting and waiting is what extends the delay. Now let's talk about the second major change happening in March, which is the payment schedule itself, because this one touches every single Social Security recipient, regardless of their work history or pension situation. If you don't already know this, the SSA organizes its payment calendar around Wednesdays. The specific date your payment arrives is determined by your birth date. If your birthday falls anywhere between the 1st and the 10th of any month, you receive your Social Security deposit on the second Wednesday of the month. In March 2026, that second Wednesday falls on March 11th. If your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th, your payment arrives on the third Wednesday of the month, which is March 18th. And if your birthday falls between the 21st and the last day of the month, your deposit comes on the fourth Wednesday, which is March 25th. There's also a separate group that gets paid on the third of each month. People who started receiving Social Security benefits before May of 1997, and people who receive both Social Security and Supplemental Security Income, which is called SSI. For them, the March 3rd date applies. Speaking of SSI, this is where things get a little confusing for a lot of recipients, and it is absolutely worth paying attention to. SSI recipients, people who receive Supplemental Security Income, which is a program for low-income individuals who are elderly, blind, or have a qualifying disability, have already received their March 2026 payment. It came early. It arrived on February 27th. The reason for that is simple. March 1st falls on a Sunday in 2026, and the SSA never processes payments on weekends or federal holidays. So when the scheduled payment date falls on a non-business day, the payment goes out on the last business day before it. In this case, that was Friday, February 27th. This matters because some SSI recipients are going to look at their account in March and see no new SSI deposit arrive during the entire month of March, and they are going to be alarmed. They may think their benefits were cut or suspended. They may think something went wrong with their account. But what actually happened is their March payment came early, at the end of February, and their next payment will arrive April 1st. There is no gap in how much money they are receiving. It is purely a calendar shift. But without this context, That March with no deposit situation can send a person into a genuine panic. Now let's get into the third major shift happening in March, which is the one that confuses the most people every single year. And that is the final deposit amount, the actual dollar figure that lands in your bank account. Because here's what most people don't fully understand. The amount you receive is not just your gross Social Security benefit. It's your gross benefit after certain deductions have already been taken out. The most significant deduction for most recipients is the Medicare Part B premium. Medicare Part B covers your doctor visits, outpatient services, and a range of other medical care. If you're enrolled in Medicare, that monthly premium is automatically deducted from your Social Security check before it ever hits your bank account. So here's where the math gets tricky and why so many people get confused at the start of each year. In 2026, Social Security benefits received a cost of living adjustment, commonly called COLA. The 2026 COLA increase was 2.8%. For someone who was receiving $2,000 a month, that 2.8% increase adds $56 to their monthly benefit. On paper, they went from $2,000 to $2,056. That sounds like a nice, clear increase. But at the same time, Medicare Part B premiums also went up. If your Medicare premium rose by $15 a month, then your net deposit only went up by $41 instead of the $56 you were expecting. That gap between the gross increase and the net deposit is what catches people off guard every single year. And March is when many people are noticing this for the first time, because it's when a lot of the adjustments are landing together at once. And for some beneficiaries, particularly those with higher incomes, the situation can be even more stark. There is something called IRMA, which stands for Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. It's a program under Medicare where people who earn above certain income thresholds pay a higher premium for their Medicare Part B and Part D coverage. The income that's used to calculate your IRMA is based on your tax returns from 2 years prior. So if your income in 2024 was higher than usual, maybe you sold a property, took a large IRA withdrawal, had a big year in your small business, your Medicare premiums in 2026 could be noticeably higher because of that. Some people see their Medicare premium nearly double or even more depending on their income bracket. The SSA doesn't always send out a detailed advance notice about this. For many people, the first time they realize their premium has changed is when they look at their March deposit and it's less than they expected. Or in some cases, it's actually lower than what they were receiving back in December, even though there was a COLA increase. That seems completely backwards and impossible until you understand that Medicare and Social Security are two separate systems that adjust at the same time, but in different directions. And the combination of those two adjustments is what determines the net figure in your account. This is also a good moment to understand that when retroactive back payments go out, they don't always arrive in the same deposit as your regular monthly benefit. The SSA sometimes sends them separately. So imagine this scenario. You're expecting your regular March 18th deposit. It arrives as expected. You see your updated monthly amount. Maybe it's a bit higher because of COLA and the WEP correction. Then, 4 days later, a completely separate deposit shows up in your account. A large one you weren't expecting. Without knowing this is a possibility, that second deposit looks like a duplicate, a mistake, or even some kind of fraudulent transaction. You might spend an entire afternoon on the phone with your bank trying to figure out where that money came from. You might even try to refuse it or send it back. But it's yours. It's simply the SSA sending your regular benefit and your retroactive back payment as two separate transactions because the systems that process them are not always synchronized. There is also one more thing happening in March that most people genuinely don't think about, and it's important. The SSA is sending out physical mail right now. Letters, notices, recalculation statements, retroactive payment explanations. These are not junk mail. These are not promotional materials. These are official documents explaining your updated benefit amount, breaking down what changed, why it changed, and what your payments will look like going forward. If you have moved in the past year and you didn't update your address directly with the Social Security Administration, not just with the post office, but specifically in the SSA system, those letters may not reach you. A mail forwarding order does not always redirect official government correspondence. If those letters don't get to you, you miss out on critical documentation about your benefits, and you also lose your paper trail if any questions come up later about whether you were properly notified. So here is exactly what you need to do this week, and it doesn't take long. If you ever held a public sector job at any point in your career, call the SSA at 1-800-772-1213 and ask specifically whether WEP or GPO ever affected your benefit. Ask them if your account is scheduled for recalculation and if a retroactive payment is being processed. Don't assume, don't guess, just ask. While you're at it, go to ssa.gov and log into your My Social Security account. If you don't have one, create one. It takes about 10 minutes and it gives you direct access to your benefit history, your payment details, your gross benefit amount, and your net deposit figure. Look at both numbers. Understand what is being deducted and why. If you see a Medicare premium deduction that seems higher than you expected, know that IRMA may be the reason, and you can contact Medicare or the SSA to verify it. While you're inside your account, double-check your mailing address, your direct deposit banking information, and your contact details. A single digit entered incorrectly in your banking information can send a retroactive payment of thousands of dollars into the wrong account, and recovering that money can take weeks or even months. One login, 10 minutes. It can save you enormous headaches. March 2026 is a genuinely significant month for Social Security. It is not a routine update. It is not a simple yearly adjustment. For millions of Americans, teachers, firefighters, police officers, public employees who gave decades to their communities, this month represents long overdue justice. Money that should have been in their pockets for years is finally arriving. For others, it brings the natural confusion that comes with any major benefit change when the information hasn't been communicated clearly by the people responsible for communicating it. The difference between feeling secure and feeling panicked when something unexpected appears in your account comes down entirely to whether you have the context to understand what you're looking at. You now have that context. Use it. Take the 20 minutes this week to get everything verified, get your information updated, and know exactly what is coming and when. Your future self will absolutely thank you for it.